Now I know to probably guys and girls who are watching this video who have no programming experience or maybe no game programming experience, this is a lot of gibberish, and I can fully understand where you're coming from. But do not worry, I'm gonna do some simple tutorials. Probably the first one I'll do will be for a Pong game. Okay, so that's still not working right now. So we need to figure out why that is happening. So main game script, character hit danger object. The main game script is in fact the line run jump main game. Character hit danger objects, lives minus equals 1 if lives is less than or equal to 0. Okay. Now what I think is the character actually has 2 collision objects on it, which might be calling it separately, perhaps, and that might be the problem. You see, this is contained in two separate parts of the character. So this would be, basically the character has a head and a body. Both of these parts contain this script here, so that might be why it's calling it twice. I don't think I need to have both of these scripts connected to the head and the body. I don't think so. Let me think about that. Because what's happening is it's actually destroying the main game object. It's actually destroying the character object. And you see, this is the process of programming in general. It's a lot of problem solving, which I personally find so interesting. You know, it's like a logic puzzle, a logic test. Once the design is in place, once you know what sort of game you want to make or what kind of application you want to build, it's really just about sort of breaking it down into chunks and figuring out the problems of why something's happening or how to get a certain how to get some functionality in place. And that for me is, it's really interesting. I find it a great challenge, especially when you overcome a challenge. There's a great sense of, oh my god, that was amazing. I figured the problem. It's like eureka. It's a really good feeling. So, who knows? I don't think I hope I'm not the only one who feels that way. So, okay. Who knows, I might get some comments from people telling me how to improve my code as well, or how to solve a certain problem. That would be really nice. Really nice. See, one way we could do this is that we don't... is that we have a delay inside of the main game script. That's probably, I could do it a different way, but just so that I'm not changing too many things, because I'm actually aiming to get this game finished within, possibly uploaded within the next few hours onto the iPhone App Store, and then onto a few Android markets as well. And I'll show you guys how to do that through the developer diary. Okay. So yeah, I think I know what to do with this, I think. So I'm gonna put character just hidden objects. Extends a boolean, and what this is going to do, the idea is that it's going to give them a moment of invincibility, and that's not really because things are going to hit them so fast, but it's just so that we don't call, just so that we have a function, a boolean that's a true or false variable, just so that we don't call this like once every frame and then we reduce our lives down to 0 too fast. So basically what we can do is, if we just hit the object, we can set this character just hit an object equals true. Okay. If the character just equals object equals true equals false, then we want to process these statements here. Okay, and then what we want to do is basically kind of set an invincibility part here. I'm going to stop talking for just a minute, guys, while I figure this out. Might be able to hear the mouse running around in my head. Can I just hit an object equals true? Okay. Set it's a false. The naming of these, the reason I was just basically thinking about how to name this function. Called from, okay. Because sometimes the naming of these functions it's extremely important how you name functions. It has to make sense. It has to be concise. Usually my function names are really long. I think I've not seen a lot of other people's code, but I tend to sort of explain a lot in the function names, which just makes it easier for me. Probably should make it easier for other people reading this code as well. So what we want to do is basically make this one false. And what we want to do is invoke call this. An invoke call basically is a delay. It's a delay call. When I say call, for those of you who are not sure, call I mean is basically start the function. So for example, if I call character, when I say call character hit danger object, I mean do this function, run this function. We call it call. So what we're going to do is invoke call. Invoke means delay the call, so that there is a temporary moment of invincibility, so that this function, this character hit danger object function, doesn't get called too fast. So I'd say probably let's just try 0.3. Maybe this code will work, maybe it won't. It's a normal thing that comes that often crops up with coding, that things don't work and we have to go back and change it. So invoke set character just hit an object, so false equals 0.3, set character, okay, so that's false, so if it's false it'll repeat again. And that's, so I'm going to save that. I'm just hitting control and save here to save this file. You can also go, if you use Unity and monodevelop, you can hit file and save. But yeah, that was one of the things I was thinking about when doing these developer diaries was exactly how, how do I talk about this? Would it be interesting? Will it not? So, I'm very interested to find out how these developer diaries do, and then if you guys are enjoying listening to me chat while I code, then I will continue, and hopefully you guys learn something as well. And girls, I mean guys and girls when I say guys. Line 13, okay. So this is it says here line 13 has an error, and I think it's just a syntax error. Yeah. So private var. Var just stands for variable inside of JavaScript. So that was all that I did as an error. If you go back into Unity, on the bottom right here, you can see the little spinner. That's compiling the scripts. I think that's what it's doing. And it's just checking for any errors, any bugs, any wrong syntax. So everything's fine. So, okay, let's give this a try. We'll see if this works or not. And I'm just going to bump into one of these blocks. Okay, that seemed to work well, yeah. I'm actually happy about that. Not just because I like it when code works, but just because you guys are watching me. So, but I will do another video in a moment, guys, and we'll come back for part 2 of the developer diaries for Alpha Run Impossible Game X.